I wanted to see if it was possible to feel like I'm out in nature at one of the busiest downtown parks. My goal was to spend all morning to see how much wildlife I could find. But first, let's go to the start of this morning where the video begins. Since I was in the city, I wanted to take full advantage of it and go to the gym with my cousin at 5 a.m. After that, I had a lot of time before sunrise, so I headed over to a coffee shop right near the park to spend some time with the Lord in my morning devotion. At this time, it was getting more light outside and time to head to the park. Upon arrival, I first had to get some shots of the skyline through this tall prairie grass which is planted all throughout the park to attract pollinators and provide habitat for many sorts of wildlife. I then noticed this pond where I thought there might be some waterfowl hanging out. Birds kept flying to and from these shrubs, and as I got closer to check it out, I noticed they were eating the berries and was able to capture many shots of this cardinal which I really enjoyed. Out of nowhere, a Cooper's hawk flew right by my head, and because it was flying so low, I thought it couldn't have landed far. I was able to get a ton of shots and really dial in my settings, but these two I thought turned out the best. I was then able to point the hawk out to this guy and his son, and he also told me that the smallest bird in the world is from his home country, Honduras. So I had to look it up, and he was right, it was bee hummingbirds. There's many species, and I found this one picture that I really liked. After talking to them for a little while, it was time to switch it up and head down to the river to see what else I could find down there. I headed straight to the water to see all these common carp, which were really shallow and close to the surface, which surprised me on a cold day like this. My time down by the water consisted of a lot of walking until I found something that caught my eye, and I stood or changed up my angle until I could get a shot like I got of this blue heron.
A mallard, and then there's some hooded mergansers in the mix of them, and then a bunch of these ring-billed gulls just keep flying around. I think these ducks forgot I was even here. I don't know if you guys can see these two little ducks right down here, but they're sleeping. And then a whole bunch of them, the mallards and the mergansers, are down on this other log. I might walk down there after I get a couple more shots of this one right in front of me, because it's just creating a really nice shot. I'm liking the pictures.
At a first glance, I thought this was another great blue heron out here, but after zooming in, I noticed it was white and it couldn't be. So I looked it up and remembered that it was an egret. I've seen them all over the place, but like many other birds, sometimes I forget their names. The composition and the shadows turned out really nice in these two photos, but check out this female hooded merganser and the male. I think their feathers on their head look really unique. I noticed a group of ducks coming toward me just up the river, so I found this log to sit on and waited for them to paddle on by. At this point, I had already been at the park for 4 or 5 hours, so I just wanted to walk around and explore the park to see what's all out here, not necessarily looking for wildlife.
So these are bat houses here. I know this meadow is so like raccoons can't climb up there, and I thought this was a barrier, but it's actually a screen. So what I'm thinking is these are designed to collect the droppings from the bats, and if there was a disease in the area, they could use these samples to test for that disease. Like white nose syndrome is a really common disease in bats that I know of.
I had to get these last few shots of this red-tailed hawk flying through the sky rises. So it is possible to feel like you're out in nature at a city park, but I would be selective where you choose to go. This park here provides many habitat features, birdhouses, feeders, and also borders a river which many birds use to travel. Above all though, the best park to go to is the one that's available to you right now. It really is what you make of it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.